Very good evening. My name is Alok Srivastava, and it's been really a long time before I had since I had uploaded a video. So this time let's move on to something new. I'm going to share some insight on Terraform, which is the next best thing that can happen to cloud, as well as and like especially on Amazon Web Services. So in this is going to be the first video, and we are going to learn very basics of Terraform. What exactly is infrastructure as a code in the cloud, the benefits, and we will have a introduction to Terraform. We'll be installing the Amazon CLI and the Terraform and try to create a instance on Amazon Web Services using Terraform. So let's first start with the first steps. So basically the part is that when we use Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud Platform or Microsoft Azure or OpenStack, we normally rely on the dashboard. We use the dashboard for creating the instances, whether it is OpenStack or Amazon Web Services or anything, which is a good thing. There is no doubt about that. But then we also need to automate the things, right? And sometimes we rely on a particular one cloud provider. Like suppose if I'm a company, so my major projects are running on Amazon Web Services. Your company might be trusting Microsoft Azure. So that is how the things work. We have no issues in that. So normally when we use the dashboard in creating the instances, attaching your volumes and doing anything on Amazon or Google or Microsoft, we normally, or we can call it ClickOps, because I'm not using actual DevOps. It's ClickOps. I'm using the dashboard, using the clicks to configure the things, which is good, which is fine. But it is good if your environment is a small environment, a static environment. You have got some 10 or 50 servers to manage. But if you have got 100 servers to manage and something goes wrong with in a particular server, believe me guys, it's very difficult to remember what I had done on that server. So there is where the Terraform comes into the picture, or other infrastructure as cloud tools. So there is a need of a configuration tool at a higher level which should be doing all the things. So different names had been given to these kinds of services. We can call it an infrastructure orchestrator, infrastructure provisioner, infrastructure templating. But the point is that I want my infrastructure in code. I don't want to use the clicks. That's the idea, right? So this is how basically the things works in the cloud. So we use the infrastructure provisioning tools like OpenStack or anything to build my servers, and then I use the configuration management tools like Ansible and stuff like that to manage those servers. So currently I'll be coming from this side, from infrastructure side, coming from this side. So Terraform is one of the big things. We should be understanding what are the benefits of using the Terraform. So Terraform is, number one thing, is a totally 100% open source utility. It's being created by HashiCorp. It's the same company, guys, which has created Vagrant, Packer, and a lot of other infrastructure tools. The initial version came somewhere in July 2014, but still then it's amazing. It's doing wonderful. And believe me, when you say DevOps, that means apart from Amazon or Google or Azure or Rackspace cloud provider knowledge, you should have skills on Terraform. The reason Terraform is important, the reason it is gaining the market, is that I can use the Terraform to provision my infrastructure on Amazon, Google, Azure, and 30 or 40 different providers. That's amazing. It uses a special language to provision to declare my infrastructure. They call it SCL, HashiCorp configuration language. So we'll be using the same language to build some servers, taking the first step, right? And it allows to use multiple providers, means I can use the same code to create a web server or an instance on Amazon. The same code can be used to deploy on Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud and other different 30 providers. That is the beauty of Terraform. That's why it's in demand. So it keeps a track of delta, means it keeps a track of the changes what you had done in your instances, when you have added a volume, when you have removed a volume, when you have created an instance. It keeps a track of all those things. There are hundreds of plugins which you can use, and the best part which I personally like in Terraform is that it like presents me my infrastructure in a manner of graph, which makes it more easier for me to understand the dependencies and troubleshoot it. That we are going to cater on, or we will be discussing it later on, not now. So before we proceed, there are certain things that you need to be doing. Number one things, guys, we are going to create a first server on Amazon Web Services using the Terraform. Some prerequisite, guys. This is what I had already shared with you. It's being given by HashiCorp in July 2014. So these are actually the same slides which we use in our trainings at NetworkNets. Right. So apart from the open source, they also gives you a hosted solution for the enterprises. Obviously, it's paid, and as I had explained you earlier also, you can do wonders with Terraform using Amazon or Google or Microsoft as your platform. Your code will remain the same, right? And the coding is done in the Go programming language. And hold on, guys, you need not to be very good in Go programming language. If you don't know anything about Go, don't go away. Just keep on watching the video. I am least bothered about the Go programming language. What I am more interested is the HashiCorp configuration language. It's comparatively new, but it's doing amazing things, and it is being adapted by industry. Wonderful. That's great. Shall I make it like this? Yeah, that's much better, I suppose. Yeah, right. So before we proceed, number one thing what you should have, there are certain prerequisites for this particular video. You should have knowledge of Amazon Web Services. You should have you should be comfortable in Linux admin part. You should be comfortable in Amazon Web Services. Means either you have taken the training of AWS Certified Solutions Architect or equivalent level, or the skill sets. You should have your free tier account ready. One Linux machine is required, which should be connected to the internet. And the first thing we are going to do is we'll be installing the Amazon CLI, and let's rock it out, guys. Right. So number one thing, I'll show you how I am placed here. So I have got this machine with me. I'm running Ubuntu, and this is connected to the internet. You can see here. So I'm connected to the internet. I'll just show it, www.google.com. It is always good to check it out. Perfect. I'm able to hit the net. That's great. So your machine, your Linux machine should be ready. It should be connected to the internet, and your Amazon Web Services account should be there. So it is active there. So number one thing, guys, I need to do is that I need to have a user which should have the admin privileges. So I have created a user Alok with the admin privileges, because I'm going to hit it using the CLI. So I need to go to the security credentials and generate a key for myself. So just click on create access key. Please make sure you don't share it with anyone. So I have already downloaded one key. So one key will be there. So it doesn't matter. Let me download this one also. I save it. Perfect. And close this. So make sure you are not going to share this key with anyone. So this is the access key. So that's great. Wonderful. Close this, guys. The next thing that you have to do is, okay, it's like Ubuntu. I have a habit of doing sudo su, so I should not be prompting for the password or feeding the password. Then the first thing you need to do is that you need to install the Amazon CLI. So guys, I had already installed the Amazon CLI here. So you can just simply give this command apt get install AWS CLI if you are using Ubuntu. If you are using RHEL or CentOS, you can use EPEL repository, or you can download the Amazon CLI directly from Amazon website. That's not a problem. So Amazon CLI is installed. Step number one, guys, I need to configure my machine to be able to talk to my Amazon Web Services account using the CLI, right? So if you remember, I have downloaded that key. That's the key which I have downloaded. So I have to give this command AWS configure, right? If you see here, I'll show you, there is no AWS folder here. Perfect. That's great. So I will give the command AWS configure. This is the command to connect yourself using the admin credentials via Amazon CLI. So as soon as you give this, it will ask you for the access key. I have to open this file, and this is the key. I copy this. I'm going to remove this key once this lab is done, so I'm not worried about the security aspect currently. I copy the secret key also, copy it, paste it here. That's great. So copy and paste your keys. Obviously when you are seeing the video, certain part of the key and the secret key will be like masked, so I'm not worried about that. Your region should be, because I'm in India, so I give AP South 1, and the default format I want it to be in the tabular format. That's wonderful. So once you do this, you have just configured your Amazon CLI to be able to talk to your Amazon account using the CLI. So what this does, it creates a folder there, .aws, and if I move on to this folder, you will have two files, config and the credential. Config will be just storing your region and the format in which you want the table, the output, and the credentials will be storing your credentials, obviously, right? So don't share these keys with anyone. That's wonderful. So I can cross check it before I proceed to Terraform. If I give AWS IAM list users, I should be able to talk to my Amazon account. Perfect. So see here, two users are coming up there, Alok and Arnav, which are also here. If I click here, these are the two users. Wonderful. So my Amazon CLI part is done. That's great. The next job is, guys, I need to download the Terraform. So I should be going to Terraform website and can download a zip file. So here is the screenshot for you. So for me, it won't work like this. So I should be going to my machine and using the I will open my browser. Very simple stuff, guys. Just follow the steps. Keep calm and write Terraform download. That's it. Here it is. Click on the download Terraform and you can download it. I will be using my Linux, right? So it's all very clearly mentioned here. Just download the zip file. So let me do it. So I go to Linux machine. I'm using a 64-bit, obviously. So I click here, save the file, and you are done. Close this. So if I go to the, here it is. Wonderful. Again, go back to the CLI, move on to, I can exit from here. I can move on to the downloads folder. There is the file, and just unzip it and use it. See here, just do a Terraform. This is the file. You just need to give this command, and the destination should be USR local bin. That's it. So unzip, and the destination is USR local bin. So that is all I have to do here. So I can do a sudo unzip, sorry, Terraform destination is USR local bin. So that's, it's very clearly mentioned in our slides. So I just press enter here. Yeah, perfect. So it's inflated, it's being done. So if I can cross check it, it's something like this, inflating. So I can confirm it if I give the command here Terraform version. It shows me the Terraform version or the API version. which is installed. So it might be different from what is in the slides. Yeah, it is 11.7. Now this one is the latest one is 12.12. Wonderful. So that part is done. Now what? Let's create a resource. Let's create an instance using the Terraform. It's very simple, guys. So you have the Amazon CLI configured, you have Terraform installed, but Terraform is not at all aware of your Amazon Web Services account. So the next step you need to do before proceeding further is, so this is the Amazon CLI which we had already done. Just ignore these steps. This is the confirmation. Yeah. So I need to set this export AWS access key ID and my key ID, and export AWS secret access key and my key. I need to create it in my variables so that my Terraform can use it. So you need to use the same variable names or you cannot change it. So let me do this. So I have to do here export AWS access key. It's being mentioned here, underscore access underscore key underscore ID, AWS underscore access underscore key underscore ID, and then paste the ID. So my ID is with me. This is it. I copy it from here and paste it, and then give export AWS underscore secret underscore access underscore key. So I go here, underscore secret underscore access underscore key. So that's the way to connect it, because it's safe to save it as an environment variable rather than keeping it in a file, and then paste the thing, and equal to, again open your file, copy it and paste it. Perfect. So you have just exported two variables. Just make sure you don't do any typo in here. Right. So once this is done, we are ready to go. Right. So we are going to just create a EC2 instance. It's very simple, guys. I'm not going to do very like some complications here. Very simple stuff. Just one instance. And the same code can be used for Amazon or Google or Azure. How SCL, the HashiCorp configuration language, works, it is the syntax, right? Resource, the provider name, my provider name is AWS underscore resource type. So in my case, it is EC2. Then the name of the instance, and then the parameter, and then the value. So the best way of doing is learning it actually is by doing the things, right? So for creating the instance, I just need a couple of things. I need my instance type, I need AMI ID, right? And I need the name of the instance. So that's it. And this is a link here. You can go down and check it from the Terraform website, other stuff. So I'm not doing it. So what I do, I create a folder here, though it's not required. So let me create a folder here, mkdir Terraform, and move into the folder Terraform, create a folder. I say first server. Make sure the extension should be TF Terraform. So this is already mentioned in here. Let me do it like this. Yeah. Right. So see here, the first thing is that provider is AWS. That means which cloud platform I am using. So because I am using Amazon, I should be writing here AWS. Region, in which region I intend to create my resource. So I will be creating in AP South 1. So that's the first thing that you have to give here, and it is indent specific, so you have to take care of the indents. So I'll be doing it like this. If I can make it like this, I think that will be much better, so that we will be able to see both the things. Perfect. That makes sense, right? So I create a file here. Sorry. Okay, the Vim is not installed, no problem. I can do sudo apt get install Vim. So this is a new machine, so these things are expected. I don't mind. Just do a yes here. It's always good to use Vim Just a minute guys, it will be done soon. Okay, that's great job. Ignore these advertisements. I also ignored them. Now I will go back to my space like this. So we are ready to merge the two screens and you'll be able to understand it much better. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So let's create a file here, first server.tf. I'm going to explain it to you step by step. Number one thing, you need to specify the provider, right? So provider is AWS region, the region in which you intend to create the resource. I'm not specifying the AZs for now. That's it. Then resource, what kind of resource you want to say. So it is AWS underscore instance. AWS is the provider type, underscore instance is the resource type, and the name of your instance, I can give it anything. I say hello Terra, right? And then AMI ID, obviously that's the mandatory thing. So you can get a list of the AMI IDs from Amazon. So I'm just copying it because I have used this 673C34. You can copy and paste it from Amazon website, that's not a problem. Instance type, the instance types obviously. So I use T2 micro as I'm using the free tier account, right? Tags is optional. That means you intend to give your instance a name. I can give it a name. I say network NAS. Perfect. And close it. That's all guys, that's all. That's the only thing you need to do. So provider, Amazon Web Services, location, resource type is AWS instance, name of the resource is hello Terra, AMI ID, instance type, and that's all that's all you have to do. That's job is done. What next? So what next? It's great. Now I just need to give Terraform apply. When you will be giving the first time, when you give the Terraform apply, it need to download the plugins, right? So it might give you this error that the provider AWS plugins are not installed. So need not to worry. Just write Terraform initialize, right? So if I go to my, I just write here Terraform apply, I will be getting an error here. Yeah, perfect. Could not satisfy the plugin requirements and stuff like that. No problem, just write Terraform in it. Let me make it here. That's great. It's automatically, see here, it's going to HashiCorp, it's downloading the Amazon Web Services plugins. It might take some time, but it will be done soon. And it's fun. This is what you should be learning after you learn you have attended the AWS training. Go for Terraform. This is how you automate the cloud. This is how you learn infrastructure as a service. Perfect. So see here, Amazon provider version is there. Ignore these advertisements. Perfect. So if I go here and write Terraform apply once again, oh, there is a typo error. See here. Deal. They have changed the syntax of how the tags are to be defined. So for the sake of convenience, I had just removed this, commented these out, because that's merely a name. We can define it later on, not a problem. So if I give Terraform apply now, and if the code is right, perfect. So it's showing me these things. See here, this is the an execution plan has been laid out, and the plus things is that it's going to create those things. So whatever you have defined, it's being taken those values. The things that you have not defined will be default or based on the type. So see here, these things are defined, the volumes are not, everything. I just need to give a yes here. So I need to give a yes, and now it's actually going to create those things. See here. So once this is done, I should have one instance running in my Amazon Web Services account in my dashboard. Just a minute guys, it's going to be done fast. It's very fun, it's simple, right? If I go here in my dashboard, Let's check it out. I go to EC2 meanwhile, and perfect. Here is my server. See here. This is my server running. It's still getting initialized. So this is how we have just created a machine, and you can remove it also. Just give Terraform destroy. I had not mentioned here in this, like this, Terraform initialize in it. This is a screenshot of doing the things. This is how it works, right? So I'm not taking questions right now. Perfect. So I can delete it. I can terminate it. I can do it from the command line also. That's not a problem. Right? So that is how you should be starting, and then gradually we'll be learning more stuff on Terraform. So for now, just do this, make yourself comfortable with the Terraform, create an instance, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, take care, God bless.